Hey guys, Blonde Asuna or Toxic Caster here, and today I'm going to be talking about the rationale behind my gem builds on Reddit for the attacker type variants. I would talk about all of them, but I don't really want to make this video too long and too extensive, so I'm probably going to be making a series, one for each type of monster, and I guess I'll start with the attacker types. So let's get right into it. The first thing to note is I used two main builds for two different archetypes of attackers. I started off by saying to myself, alright, what is the goal of this monster? And to look at that, you have to look at their skills. I'm going to start by looking at, say, Wood Gatito's skills, which he has a 100% defense down for 2 turns on his 3-star, and 100% chance for a 3-turn fatigue on his 5-star skill. Now, the goal of this monster is basically to just apply debuffs onto the enemy. Now, the best build for this, in my opinion, and by this I mean all of the utility attackers, would be HP, defense, and attack gem. The set that I would use for this as well is Conviction. Obviously, I don't have that on my Wood Gatito right now. I am working towards it, but I would still recommend Conviction because the goal of the monster in this case is mainly survivability, because your monster isn't going to be trying to deal all the damage, it's trying to set up so that other monsters can do a lot of damage for it. A lot of people complain that and say that Wood Gatitos and other monsters that are utility attackers, their skills are wasted because they're of the attacker type, but I honestly disagree. I think that it's fine because, as you can see by the stats, even though Wood Gatito is a Nat 3 monster, with just a little bit of defensive fine-tuning in the gems, he can almost hit up to 3k defense, almost 45k HP, and he can still hit a whopping 4,000 attack almost. And that's not even with maxed out gems. I believe those are all 5-star gems. So why am I going this rather than triple defense gems is probably what a lot of you are wondering, because I know a lot of people do that. And the reason for this is that the gems work in the following way. Basically, you get a percentage of your monster's base attack as a bonus. For example, 1383 is a 45%, I guess. No, it's a little bit more, but I have some attack and substats, obviously. But I get 45% of 2,588 as bonus attack. Now, that's really significant, actually, because that means that that's significant because the attacker types get a lot more base attack than all the other monsters. So running one attack gem is insanely efficient compared to running an attack gem on other types of monsters. So just by running one attack gem, you're getting a lot more bonus attack than if you run, say, an extra defense gem or an extra HP gem. And it makes the monsters not only have good survivability, but they also can do a decent amount of damage by themselves without having to invest very much into their gems for attack. Now, instead of running 2 HP or 2 defense gems, I choose to run 1 HP and 1 defense because, in short, I try to have something called HP efficiency, which basically means that I try to make my monsters take the least amount of damage, the least amount of their maximum percentage of HP possible with an attack. I don't want to go too far into all the logistics, but basically, trying to keep them balanced up to a certain point in percentage-wise is pretty key. I think a good target defense and I think a good target defense to reach for is around, I'd say 3,000 for Nat 3s, maybe 4.5 thousand for Nat 4s, and for Nat 5s, maybe around 6,000, depending on the monster, of course. As you can see with Wood Arthur, even though he's a Nat 5, I only have about 4,000 defense on him, even though I run a defense gem. So it really varies based on the monsters. For example, on my Water Nightmare, I got up to 7,000, almost over 7,000 defense. So for attack, since I'm talking about attacker types this video, I'd say 3,000, 3.5 thousand, and 4,000 are good markers to hit for your attacker types based on Nat 3, Nat 4, and Nat 5. After that, I'd say going into HP is very good because you already have a decent amount of defense to reduce the damage that you're going to take with your HP, and then siphoning all the rest of it into HP will be, in my opinion, the most efficient thing to do. I will actually also put a link down in the description below to the Reddit guide for effective HP so you can see for yourself what stats you'd like to stop at, etc., and do more research for yourself. And I forgot to turn off notifications again, but we're not making any more memes on the... Okay, no more memes, guys. Don't worry. I already ate the pasta. Don't worry about that. Anyways. The next type of build is for the plain attackers. And plain attackers are basically monsters that just want to do damage. Like, their only goal in life is just to kill stuff, okay? So how we're gonna like gem those guys is the most optimal late game build for them is crit rate, attack, and defense on the Ruin set. Now, again, this is I'm running a defense gem instead of an HP gem, mainly because of the effective HP formula, and I personally enjoy it better, as well as the fact that I almost always use healers in my teams, unless there's like, say I'm autoing something on like a story stage. But other than that, I always use healers on my teams, and if you have more defense, your heals are actually a lot more efficient than if you're running HP. And I don't think I have to explain the rationale behind it, but if you don't understand it, you can leave a comment below and I can explain it to you more in depth. But basically, because of the effective HP formula, as well as the fact that heals are more efficient, I really do think that running a defense gem is better than running an HP gem. Now, I think that a lot of people might be skeptical over running this build. Like, for example, even though I have some pretty good gems on my Wood Banshee, her critical hit ratio is only 71%, and that's very true. And that is a little... I also am a little bit hesitant at times in using this, but the trade-off, I think, of the damage risk versus reward can be very, very rewarding. And to show this in action, I can use one of my monsters that is running the crit rate, defense, and attack gems. We'll say I'll run my... I guess I can run my... I'll run my... Ooh, I have to find... I'm going to try to compare the attack defense compared to critical hit attack defense, and try to compare the two damages so you can see. And I'm going to see if I can find some similar gems. We'll say, let's see. I can try to run... That's an attack gem. Okay, I think the gems will be a little bit mismatched, but I think that's okay. We'll try... I'll show you the damages of running a... Ooh. Of running my Banshee against these water monsters, and we can see how much damage it does first. So, just for the sake of the video, I'm going to run my crit rate lead of Dark Seastar. I know a lot of people won't have crit rate leads for everything that they're trying to do, and obviously a crit rate lead makes this build a lot safer, but we're just going to see how it works out. Alright, let's see if I can crit. Alright, no crit there. So obviously that's one of the dangers of running this build. Even with my extra 19% crit rate, that's only about 90% if I remember correctly. So we're going to try one more time. That hit about 22,500 damages. So that's going to be about 45,000 damage with one attack. Now if we go back to monsters and we replace the gems with, instead of this, we can run attack, attack, and defense. I'll still run one 5-star gem. I don't think it actually matters what my, I don't think it will matter what my defense and crit rate gems are, as long as I don't crit, right? So I'll try to run a 6-star attack gem if I can find one. I can just run this. I'll level it up to plus 12 right now for you guys. Let's see if I can get lucky. Yeah, I know a lot of people also don't like doing this because they're very skeptical, but oh my gosh, it already failed a bunch. Alright. Hopefully I don't have to use too much gold. I'm actually saving up for 20 million gold, and I'm going to 6-star 20 guys at the same time. Pretty hyped for that. Actually, I can show you guys all the stones I already farmed up. I'm just missing about like 200-ish wood stones because I couldn't farm enough yesterday, I think it was. I couldn't farm enough that day because I was out and about on the town just doing stuff, but yeah, I just got to farm those, and then I'll be able to, once I get 20 mil, just 6-star 20 guys at one time, and then I'll almost have enough for 3 Titan teams of level 60 monsters, which is going to be pretty nice to have. Anyways, this gem's almost done. One more upgrade. Obviously, it's not a plus 15, and it's still going to be a little bit weaker than my crit rate gem, I guess, but it shouldn't make too much of a difference when comparing the damages. Oh, Lord. Tina does not like me today. Come on, Tina. Tina, it's for the video. Come on. There we go. Okay. Alright, so now let's just check out the damage with my Wood Banshee that happens right now. This is without a crit, remember. So that was about a 10,000 and a 15,000. That's about 25,000 damage. So obviously, like, even though my gems weren't as good on my Wood Banshee when I was running those types of gems, I don't think it's arguable that even with like 2 6-star attack percents at plus 15, that it would do an extra 20,000 damage. So this build is the most optimal that I've seen to do the maximum amount of damage with still being like relatively able to survive with the 1 defense gem on there. And I think that actually tells wonders about like why you would build that on full attackers and why you would build differently on utility attackers. Because for utility attackers, obviously, to recap, their goal is just to stay alive, and if they stay alive, then, for example, I can go through right now and name a couple more utility attackers. We can say that for example, Wood Kokomaru, utility attacker, he has a stun. Wood Miho, she has a defense down and a stun, utility attacker. For these monsters that care about just debuffing the opponents, the attack, HP, and defense set on a conviction, if possible, is the most optimal because it encourages survivability. Whereas on like just hit hard and kill stuff attackers, the most optimal gem build is going to be a ruin set with crit rate, attack, and defense. You can run HP, but in my opinion, defense is a lot more optimal. Anyways, guys, thanks for listening all the way through, I guess. And I guess just leave a comment below if you want for anything that you want to see. My next video I'll make a video probably regarding PvP in the last like few hours of PvP if I can. We'll see like how that goes, but I don't know if it's gonna go well because that's pretty late at night for me, number one. Number two, my battles take a long time. I don't know if I'll be able to hit number 1, but we'll see. Anyways, thanks for listening. Leave a comment below about what do you want me to see me do, any monsters you want to see me train for PvP or anything like that. And I'll still probably continue this series to explain my rationale, because I know a lot of people on Reddit have been asking about that. Anyways, that's been it. Thanks for watching, and I appreciate it a lot. See ya.